Hello, it's Josh Verosco here and doing my review of Understanding by Design by Wiggins and McTighe. I just want to go through a couple key points in this review. Understanding by Design is basically looking at education system from a backward view. When we say backward design, we're saying that basically you look at your achievement of what you would like to achieve at the end versus starting with the material and trying to get to the end. We start backward to forward as we teach. Now, a couple key points I thought that they hit on this was why backward design is the best. Well, first off, they say we can't say how we're going to do something until we know what we want to achieve. And then also, we don't know what problem we want to solve until we look at the end result. And as we establish that, that should gear our lesson plans and our material that we're going to present to the kids so they can come to that conclusion at the end. There's a couple problems with traditional design. We say traditional design, we say the way that we might look at a coverage program where they simply open the book leads the material goes through chapter by chapter by chapter, section by section, and then comes to an end, and then you test. That'd be a traditional design. A couple problems with that is that you're just simply covering the material, and you're not actually diving into the material. And when you don't dive in, you just simply cover what's the purpose. The kids learn a lot of facts, and they learn a lot of times and dates and material of that nature, but they don't really understand the purpose of it. When we say purpose, we want to know how that knowledge can be applied. What's the application? And when they understand by design, students are going to come to a desired result that they can apply to other content, other problems, and to future chapters and things of that nature. So basically, the backward design has three stages. First stage is you're going to identify your desired result. Second stage is you're going to determine acceptable evidence. And third stage is plan your learning experience and your instruction. So the planning is actually at the end. The desired result is in the beginning. Now, first off, I'd like to talk about, I thought a key point in this book was the chapter or section on understanding. And what that basically is referring to is that understanding is different than knowledge. And I think as teachers, sometimes we say, oh, they have a good core knowledge, or they understand it. They came to understanding facts and material, and they did well on their test. But do they really understand the material? And that's what I think we need to keep stressing as educators is it meaningful? Is it complex enough? Are they becoming sophisticated with material enough where they can apply it to other parts and other genres? A couple of keys I want to basically distinguish between understanding and knowledge. Knowledge would be ideas of facts, claims, the idea of right versus wrong, something to be true, and when you read or when you come to a conclusion, you just say, oh, that's true, that's the right answer. Understanding is more meaning, more of the process, theory-based. How do you apply that theory to the next problem, to judge when you should use certain theories or certain facts to come to certain conclusions? That's more understanding, and that's our goal as teachers, at least what I achieved from this reading this text. There's an idea that they came up with that says transferability. When we say transferability, we say we want to know the fact and we want to use the fact in a way to apply it to meaning. And what that means is, like, as we're learning, the kids should be able to take that fact or take that chapter or that section and apply it to the meaning of some bigger idea. And that bigger idea needs to be geared towards the curriculum and your goals, and then you're teaching to come to conclusions where you can bring all that material together and you can come up with new theories and new meanings and new results, and it just opens up a whole new world for the kid once they come to that level of understanding. Now, our current education system is very geared through standards, and standards are good in a lot of ways, but there's also some flaws in standards. And sometimes as teachers, we're so in a big hurry to get through all the material that we lose out on the understanding. And the reason why teachers do this is not because they want to, it's just because they're so pressured to reach all the standards and to cover all the material that's been put forth for them by the state or the school board or whoever that may be, that they're missing out on actually expanding. Now, some people would argue that when you do the understanding model by design, that you're simply teaching, more effectively, but you're not being efficient. You're not covering enough. You're just doing a small port. Well, that's also not always true either, because you want to basically cover, but you want to cover to understanding, you want to cover to questioning. You want to basically let the kids to move forward in a way that they're questioning the model that you're presenting. And then when they do that, they're going to go into different realms, and that's going to take them to the next level, and you can move very effectively through the curriculum if you do it in that way. You want them to gain clarity, and you want them to gear towards a direct goal. And as a teacher, you got to move them on that goal. And everything you do in that classroom setting should be moving them towards that goal. The last thing that they said that I thought was really key point in this the book that I took away from is that they said there's 6 facets of understanding. And those 6 facets are a framework or a model that as teachers we can use and we can provide in our classroom. The first one's the explanation facet, and that's to provide knowledge of the event. You introduce the event, you provide knowledge of it, you lay out the framework. And then you dive in closer into the second facet of interpretation. You say, okay, this is the framework, why is this happening? What's the meaning behind it? Once they look at the meaning, then you start looking at application. So they understand the framework, now they can apply it to other frameworks or other models. Then you give them perspective. Hopefully that provides a perspective where they're critical and insightful of what they've just learned. They say, hey, that wasn't the right way to do it, or there's a better way to do it. Then the next step, the next evolution would be empathy, in that they want to be able to take whatever they're learning and say, okay, what application does that have on other people involved, not just myself? Look outside yourself into other areas. And then finally, the self-awareness or self-knowledge piece, in which they can look at all the information, give perspective on themselves, and then say, how can I apply this to my day-to-day life, my new job, my new career, and what aspect does this affect my life? And that would be truly learning, understanding by design. So again, thank you for the presentation, and look forward to reading other people's as well.